mob vehicles for the morning briefing. The national security briefing is underway at 10 o'clock, and here's some of the extra vehicles. Hey, good morning from the Ronald Reagan International Trade Center in Moynihan Plaza, named after Senator Moynihan and President Reagan. We're down here in Federal Triangle on a squeaky bike, and we're going to make our way around the mall today before we get wet from the rain. So somebody was asking today if there's any modern art lying around. I guess this is kind of modern, some flowers. And that is a shoehorn? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know what that is. It's modern art. And another flower. So, yeah, we have a little bit of modern art here and there. Let's cut over here through Federal Triangle and make our way over to the mall area. We had a lot of rain last night. A lot of rain from the hurricane, a lot of lightning. It was pretty crazy, actually. But not so bad that we've got a lot of flooding. This is Federal Triangle, and this is like usually the absolute first place to flood in Washington besides the riverfront. And it's wet looking, but it's not like standing water looking. We did get a bunch of rain. I mean, there's a little puddle here and there. Grass is pretty green, yeah. I mean, it just got soaked with water. That's a guy. That's a person sleeping. Half-naked guy sleeping on a grate. Jeez. I thought that was some rags or something. Senate's out of session today. House is as well. Though I think some House members are back today. I don't know if they're formally in session or just running around making noise. I saw a press conference last night with some people up in front of the Capitol, so obviously a few congressmen are back. So we're down in the Chinatown area near the Capital One Center where the basketball and hockey teams play. We're gonna, whoa, what happened to the camera there? So I'm thinking, why don't we spin through Chinatown and then go up into the Shaw neighborhood, which is an area of DC I don't spend a lot of time in. I haven't biked through there before. But we could go up to, say, Howard University and take a look at another university here in DC that should be getting back to school. So this is the Wah Luck House. This is a government subsidized housing. Now, when they basically renovated Chinatown, they took all the cheap apartments and gave the people that lived here a place in this building. So that's really kind of the only Chinese housing unit left in Chinatown. And most of the people who live there are quite elderly. Their kids have all moved out to the suburbs. Oh, I'm missing you. The Washington Convention Center is over there. Maybe we'll go back. On the way back, I'll show you that. Shaw used to be quite dangerous, I would say. There were issues with crimes and all the other urban ills that befall a big city. It's been gentrified a lot, but there are still some problems here and there. There's still a few shootings. I actually think Jesse Jackson used to live in this neighborhood somewhere up here in Shaw. Not exactly sure where. And I don't think he still lives here. I thought I read recently that he was kind of ill. Maybe he had COVID or something. Let's just go down another block. This is a statue. I think this is a Duke Ellington statue. Yep. DC loves Duke Ellington. There's the Howard Theater. Oh, these are like, everybody's got their own bubble tent. This is like something out of Sleeper, a Woody Allen film. Now there was a controversy down here. One of the places down here was playing go-go music. Yeah, out the window 24/7. In fact, you can hear it now. and the neighbors were complaining. The new neighbors were complaining. They worked out some sort of agreement. They'd only play it during business hours, not 24 hours a day. Alrighty. This is Howard University Hospital, connected with the school, med school. And now we're starting to pretty much get into Howard's campus. A lot of the buildings up on my right will be Howard University. I think on the left are a lot of apartments. So, kind of got that college campus feel to it. For those who don't know, this is where Vice President Harris went to undergraduate. I don't know where she attended, like what was her dorm or anything like that. We should look that up. College of Engineering. Physics. Oh, let's cut over here. I think this is the main campus. A library. And the quad, of course. Every campus has to have a quad. It's quite pretty. What's this building? Arts and Sciences. All right, let's go out in the quad, yeah? Fine Arts Building. Frederick Douglass Memorial Hall. And it looks like the fire alarm's going off in that building. Yeah, it's a pretty nice campus. Oh, they've got an observatory on top of that building. Cool. All right, let's spin off this campus. Let's see if we can... Auditorium. I think, yeah, the football stadium is back here. Howard University Bisons. The yard is temporarily closed. So this is the Howard University football stadium. Stop here for a second. There you go. Cool. Let's, you know what? There's another university over here. Catholic University is just down the road a bit. Why don't we head over there? Now this is Trinity College, I think. I'm not sure if this is fully associated with the university or if it's a freestanding independent college under its own administration. I thought it was a seminary. Now straight ahead though is the Catholic Church, the Basilica. I think it's a basilica at Catholic University. The National Shrine of Immaculate Conception, I believe, is its full title. The Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception. Okay, we got the full title. Interesting personal note, the president of Catholic University is actually my constitutional law professor from Notre Dame. So he was my professor at Notre Dame, and he went on to become the dean of Boston College Law School. And from that, he was named president of Catholic University, John Garvey. So if I see him around campus, I'll say hi to him, and he'll be like, who the hell are you? He probably forgot who I was. He, however, also taught Amy Coney, and he wrote a recommendation to Justice Scalia saying that Amy Coney Barrett was the best student he had ever had in his life. So that was like a one-line recommendation. All right, let's take a look at this campus. This campus is kind of spread out. It doesn't have like a central, I mean, with the exception of the shrine, it doesn't have like a central focus point. There's no like quad or like area that's like the heart of campus, I think is what I've read. It was something President Garvey wanted to fix somehow, maybe redesign some of the buildings. This is the library. I think though a private developer recently came in and built this little area over here, which is kind of like a campus town. Whoa, we've got a bit of stairs. All right. So apparently this is like the new campus town. Brookland is the neighborhood name. Barnes & Noble, Starbucks, burger joints, pizza joints. I'm sure there's pizza joints. Overpriced housing for college kids. Yep, there's the pizza joint. There's the sandwich shop. You got and a Chipotle. You got pretty much everything a college town needs to survive. Books, coffee, pizza, burgers, and burritos. The essential building blocks of academic life in America. So this is kind of like an industrial part of DC. The railroad line runs back here. There's like big DC Public Works yard with all the snow plows. That's a trash transfer facility over there. Kind of the industrial underbelly of the district. Up here in Northeast DC. And I think there's another big building up here. Let's go in this way. So this giant facility is the central post office, central sorting facility for the District of Columbia. That's right, this is Brentwood Road. Brentwood Road Post Office, named the Curson and Morris Processing Facility. And the reason that this is kind of famous is that there is a memorial somewhere in here, I think. Let me go ask this cop. Oh, here it is. Joseph Curseen, I hope I said his name right, and Thomas L. Morse, who were mailmen. Yeah, they were just post office men, killed, I guess you could say killed in a terrorist attack, because these are the two men who handled most directly the anthrax-laden envelopes in 2001. You remember the anthrax attack? It was this post office that was hit, and hit badly. I think these two men died, and then I think something like 8 others also had anthrax and exposure here and this post office. This facility was closed for like months, if I don't recall. So there's a memorial there for those 2 fallen post office men killed in a yet unexplained attack. I don't think they made any arrests. They had some suspects, and then a guy committed suicide. I don't know. It's a really complicated story. Ooh, that is MGM roast beef, and you know I love a good roast beef. And I don't know if they're open right now. If they are, I'm gonna get a roast beef sandwich. MGM roast beef. This is the place to go for roast beef in DC. Now there's plenty of pit beef places out in Maryland, but in DC, you don't got a lot of beef options. And you do go here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Let's spin down this road. So up here is another football stadium, a very small football stadium. What a very inspiring team. This is Gallaudet University, and they have a very big football team. Now the interesting thing about Gallaudet University is that it is a school for the deaf and the hearing impaired. So their football team, to get the snap count, they have a giant drum, and they bang the drum on the sidelines. The players can sort of feel the vibration somehow, and that's how they know what the snap count is. So with Union Market's arrival in this area, or renovation, this area, these streets are now becoming quite valued properties, and a lot of the houses are being renovated here across from Gallaudet University. I'm going to try to go onto the campus. I'm not sure if I can. I think it's technically a private school, but the bike rack is on the campus, so hopefully they'll let me on to get a bike. It's a pretty campus. I see a bike rack. Okay, well, unfortunately, Gallaudet has a 100% ID check, in part due to COVID, and in part due to being this neighborhood, which isn't exactly the bestest of neighborhoods. So I really can't ride around on the campus very much. I'm just gonna have to show you what it looks like from the outside. Some pretty old buildings still here. Let's go a little farther, yeah. We'll get on this campus one day, someday soon. Flags are at half staff on the main administration building. All right, we're back on a new bike, which is got more battery charge than the old one. So we just did the handoff back to a pedal-powered bike. But there's another electric about 10 blocks away. We'll pick one of those up. There's that COVID mobile lab I was telling you about. That's used by all the different universities here to test their students. All right, we need to go to 3rd and M. And this is 6th and, I don't know, Florida. So this building down here is the Washington Auditorium, if I recall. And the Washington Auditorium is famous. It used to have basketball games pre-NBA, but it's also where the Beatles played their very first American concert. The Beatles played here. After the Ed Sullivan Show, the Beatles came down to Washington, D.C. and had their first American concert in this very building. Sadly, now the area is a little bit developing. This is a rather major homeless facility, but they have beautiful lighting they put in. Yeah. So they put in trendy lights to light up all the tents. And that's the subway station, the Noma subway station. Kind of crazy. I won't describe the smell underneath that tunnel, but I imagine you guys can, well, you have a pretty good idea. Now that subway station was actually a backfill station. They built the subway line and then someone said, hey, we'll build a subway station here if you let us develop the area around the subway station. And that's what's happened now. You've got all these nice apartment buildings and condos and yuppie restaurants around a subway station that's only 4 or 5 stops from the White House. That's a MARC train, M-A-R-C, Maryland Area Rail Commuter. Those are the trains to Baltimore that I mentioned. They run pretty regularly in non-COVID times. Like, I don't know, every 15, 25 minutes you can get to Baltimore. Some of them are direct, some of them have multiple stops. You can get to other places along the DC, Maryland, Baltimore line. Now, let's go down here. Now, I think one of these buildings is CNN's headquarters. Yeah, right up here. So you can see it says CNN. So CNN's headquarters for Washington is right here, and they actually have, I believe they have broadcast facilities up on the roof where they do the shots with the Capitol Dome in the background. This is H Street. H is in Henry. It's got a streetcar. It's one of the few, only streetcars left in DC. And then this bridge is really cool. This tiny little bridge is a railroad bridge to the government printing office's printing press. So the GPO, the government printing office, could bring in paper delivery by this tiny railway bridge right into this facility, which connects into the GPO's massive government printing operations, drastically reduced, of course, since the days of the internet. Also, this bridge was a direct connection from the post office. This is the old post office headquarters, and they could roll the mail right into the trains and send the mail up to New York. This is now the Post Office Museum. Also the Bureau of Labor Statistics, okay, some nondescript government agency, but down here at the end is the National Post Office Museum. And I think it's one of the most valuable collections in the Smithsonian. It's got all the upside down stamps and stuff like that. Over here is Union Station, the train station. And straight ahead we can just see the Capitol Dome over the trees in the distance as we are now on Capitol Hill. All right, where should we go? Pointed out before, up on top of that building is the Capitol webcam location. So the web camera that you guys see when you're looking at the Capitol building is coming off of that building. And there's the blue flag that you sometimes see waving underneath the Capitol webcam. I'll see if I can show that to you from down here. It's some sort of maritime union flag, and there's also an American flag in the back. There's the blue flag. It's some sort of trade union flag. Oh, it's a MEBA, Maritime Engineers Benevolent Association or something like that. Totally forgotten who that is. MEBA. Now, in this building is the headquarters of C-SPAN, also NBC News and Fox News. In addition, pretty much every governor has an office here in this building. The state offices, the state government lobbying offices are mostly down here in what's called the Hall of States building. So your governor probably has a lobbyist who, liaisons with his congressional delegation and stuff to help get money for his state. Or in some cases, to help prepare the governor for a run for Senate, as that often seems to be the case. This is the 442 Memorial, the memorial to the Japanese Americans who fought in World War II, mainly in the Italian campaign. The 442 Memorial was put up, and actually one of the guys here was Senator Inoue from Hawaii. He was one of the 442, and Senator Inoue, some of you may know, he had lost the use of one of his arms, and when he was in the hospital recovering, he met another soldier who had lost the use of one of his arms, and they were talking quite a bit, and they became quite good friends. And he asked the soldier, well, what are you going to do? Senator Inoue asked this other soldier, says, well, I'm going to go back to Kansas, and I'm going to get a job as like the state's attorney, and then I'm going to run after the state's attorney. I'm going to run for Congress, and then maybe even run for the Senate one day. And then Senator Inoue said, well, that sounds like a good idea. Maybe I'll do that too. So after Hawaii became a state, Dan Inoue became the congressman and then eventually the senator. And the other guy that he met who went back to Kansas, he too became a senator. His name was Bob Dole. And Bob Dole and Senator Inoue were friends from that hospital bed where they both recovered from their war wounds all the way through to their careers in the U.S. Senate. Strange world. The world is a strange place. You never know who you're going to meet and how it's going to affect your life. All right, we're down on the mall. There's the Capitol back there. You guys have seen this place before because I come down here all the time. This is the Department of Labor. And we're over at the Art Gallery, Pennsylvania Avenue. Let's spin down to the White House. See if anything's changed in the 2 hours since I was last there. Maybe, maybe not. One nice thing though is Pennsylvania Avenue has a pretty good bike lane. Oh, there's the giant blue chicken. Guys were asking about modern art. I don't think it gets any more modern than a giant blue chicken on top of a building. That is the National Gallery of Modern Art, National Gallery of Art East Wing, which is the modern wing. As if the blue chicken was not enough of a sign. Alrighty, let's stay on this bike lane. Let's get into ludicrous gear and start cranking. Oof. More and more homeless out here today. So they're still washing this bit of the street, and they've got a lot to go. This is what they want the street to look like when it's done. This is Madison Place, and you can see it's basically like an acid wash color, and that's the color they want for this street out here. I think in part it actually, by making it a lighter color, it reflects the sun. Oh wow, are they finished with that construction sidewalk? I mean, it's all tamped down, there's no big hole. It looks like they're ready to pave the sidewalk again. That's been a month-long project. Months long, not just months. Okay, let's spin down here. Same old layout today as pretty much every day. Can't see the Marine at the moment, but there's a bush in the way. I mean, not President Bush, but like a shrubbery. Yep, there he is. He's over there. The Marine is in his position, meaning the President is in the Oval Office. Oh, the flag is back at full staff. Did you notice that? I guess the flags are back up. I guess the half-staff thing was only till they were brought home. Some of you noticed the flag over there was up at full staff when the helicopter flew over. That's a private building. That's the Chamber of Commerce building. And it was under renovation. In fact, I think it still is under renovation, so I'm not sure if anybody can get up there to lower it to half-staff. But it appears now that the half-staff rules have ended. So over there, that little house, that was the home of Alice Roosevelt Longworth. Alice Roosevelt was the first daughter of President Theodore Roosevelt and his first wife, who tragically passed away, I believe, in childbirth. And she went on to marry Nicholas Longworth, who was the Speaker of the House and the Longworth House office building. I often call it Long Roach Hall. Anyway, Alice Roosevelt lived, oh my God, through something like 12 administrations. I think the last presidential White House visit she made was under Jimmy Carter, but she had been to the White House many times under many different presidents. This, on the other hand, is the Indonesian Embassy. And I think it must be some Indonesian holiday because they've got the red and white flags up all around this beautiful old building, which used to be a fancy mansion. Whoa, look at the Rock Creek today. So last night at about 3 o'clock, the sky basically exploded in lightning and thunder and massive amount of rain. Rock Creek is kind of overflooding right now, overflowing its banks. Quite a bit of water and debris making its way down to the Potomac. And we got more rain coming this afternoon, so that's going to flood quite a bit. Ugh, here's some tree damage actually. Reminder, when stopping on a hill, put it in low gear. Oh, or high gear. All right, let's spin up the hill. This is 5 minutes of unfunness. What did I tell you? 5 minutes of arduous biking uphill. But we're back in the hood, back at the National Cathedral, which is back where I live, part of the time. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be back tomorrow, see what's new. We've got a helicopter operation tentatively scheduled this weekend, so we'll see Marine One for the first time in a few weeks. And other than that, I'm gonna go edit this video and have some more lunch. See you soon. Bye-bye.